Woo! You are now taking your very first step into getting your very first STR, short-term rental. So where are you actually going to buy one? These are all questions that you have to answer for yourself because this is going to be your own journey. Hey guys, I'm Brittany Brager. I am your local realtor here in Madison, Wisconsin. I am also a short-term rental investor. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to book an appointment down below or just check out my Instagram. Again, link is down below, and you can DM me with any questions that you may have. So where should you buy your very first short-term rental? This, I will admit, is the stage that everyone gets hung up on. And it's one of the very first steps, right? So let's just make sure that this is not you, because obviously you really want to invest in short-term rentals, as you should. So let's just make sure that you have the right knowledge based on what location and what avenue you want to take. Right? Because again, this is your own journey. So let's just kind of go through the list. So some avenues may be across the country to a whole nother state, so long distance investing. Another one is close by, so it could be in your neighborhood or a couple hours out. A third one is at a location that is very nature-like, so like you have a lot of hiking. Another one is one that is by all the national state parks. And the fourth one is where all the theme parks are. So you have Walt Disney World or Six Flags. I don't know, I don't really go to a lot of theme parks, so I can't really name them off right now. And then finally the fifth one is a year-round seasonal location. So a place that has great weather all year round, or somewhere that just has an amazing ski season or amazing surfing season. So these are all avenues that you can take, but which one is right for you? So if you are a first timer for this, doing something that is across the country or in a whole nother state, that might be a little bit too scary for you, because if something happens to your property, you can't go there unless you want to hop on a plane really fast, spend a lot of money getting on that plane. So that might not be the best route for you. What we do is our very first cabin is actually only an hour and a half away from us. So if there's anything that happened to it, we could be there within an hour and a half. Or if there's a huge major repair that we have to do, I know that we could fix it ourselves and we don't have to pay for that handyman. The other avenue that a lot of people like to take is a seasonal. So all year round, or just a ski resort, or just a surfing spot. So you could get a house in Florida and you know that they have a lot of cleaners, a lot of handyman, and you'll probably be pretty well off, right? Or you can go invest in Colorado, which is actually gorgeous all year round. But everyone knows that Colorado is great skiing. So your prices could definitely increase in the winter. Another one is a lot of people like to invest by a national state park, because you know that they aren't going anywhere, right? And the more that people, don't want to go to those big packed theme parks, they're out traveling and hiking and exploring nature. So those are actually really good investments as well, because they're not going anywhere, just like the Smoky Mountains. If you look on Airbnb or Virgo, there's so many properties that are in the Smoky Mountains, right? Because that's a really great tourist spot. And then also, you have your Walt Disney World. This is going to be great for families. So if you found a property that is a 4-bed, 5-bath, or something like that, you know that place is probably going to cash flow because big families are going to stay there. So what is an avenue that you want to take? There's so many. And honestly, if you go with an avenue, you can always have one place that is close by and then 3 places that are across the country. You don't have to stay in that one avenue. But it is good to know what the pro and cons are of each one, because this is the very starting point of your journey in the short-term rental. So you want to make sure that you're doing it right. So how we find our locations are actually through AirDNA, which is a great website. You do have to pay for the market, but I always just like to go through the free route and just kind of get the general information. General information is honestly it's enough information for me. So I go through AirDNA, and then also once I find the perfect location, I look at their rules and regulations, which will be a whole nother video just because rules and regulations, that is like opening Pandora's box, right? There's just so much about that, so that's gonna be a whole nother video. So let's actually go through AirDNA, and then I can tell you what to look for and what not to look for, what's a good location and what's a bad location. Okay, so this is AirDNA. All I just did was I went on Google, put AirDNA. You do have to create your own account. Just remember it is for free unless you want to get more into details. So I actually have Pigeon Forge pulled up, and this is actually one of the most popular vacation home spots. So let's just kind of go through the list. Again, this is locked because I didn't pay for the market update. But you have the average daily rate right here. So it looks like in February, it's about $225. In July is $269. So just remember February is a little bit cheaper just because it's winter, and July is obviously summer. So you have the average. Occupancy, I can never say that word, so I'm sorry if that sounded really dumb, but that is 74%. So in the summertime, you're looking at probably 90%. The reason why it's not 100 is because a lot of people don't want to be 100%, because then that means that their prices are too low. So 90% is the perfect rate for them. Again, in winter, it's 42%. Now, do you see that $4,700? That is actually per month. So you are making a good amount of money on those properties. So there is 3,099 active short-term rentals. If you zoom in, you can see a couple of them. They're big, nice cabins. And you have 22% are Airbnb, 32% is rural, because remember, these are luxury places. And then 46% is a property manager. So there's probably a property manager in there that's popular, that doesn't charge that much, and people just hand their property off to them. Scroll down, you have the rental size. So a lot of them are 2-bed with 8 guests. And then if you have more than 5-bed, or 5 rooms, I should say, you're looking at about 9%. And this is kind of the growth throughout the year. So in the second quarter of 2019, you are making about $1,500 in revenue, and then you can see people are traveling more and more. And this is partly due for COVID. This is the top property manager. So Christian Taylor Vacation, he's taking up a lot of them. Next one is V Trips. And another good thing to look at is the cancellation policy. So about half of them have the strict cancellation policy, some of them have the moderate, and some of them don't even have any at all. So it's really nice to see actually what other people are doing for their cancellation, as well as the minimum night stay. So it looks like that 1 night stay and 2 night stays are popular. Some places do have the 3-night minimum. So this is a really popular area, right? This is Pigeon Forge, right next to the Smoky Mountains. Now let's go to, let's say, Madison, Wisconsin. That's where I'm at right now. So Madison, Wisconsin's a little bit different. You have to own or occupy to have a short-term rental in the city of Madison. So again, with the rules and regulations, it all kind of varies. So this one, you have the daily rate is $220. Again, in winter is a lot cheaper, summer is a lot more expensive. Occupancy is about 80%. In winter, we do have a lot of like football games and hockey and all that stuff. So that's probably why it's at 53%. Just remember, there's always reasons why it's either higher or lower than it is. So just kind of figuring out why that is really important for your research. and then $31,000 in revenue a month. So Madison only has 322 active properties, which is very low. The private rooms is much higher because you have to own or occupy, or you have to own the property and you have to live in the property for you to rent your property out. So a lot of times people rent out their rooms. Okay, and then 2-bed is popular, and around, actually, I would say the 2000, actually, right where it says, this is when Madison started getting more strict because short-term rentals are starting to get more popular. And we have 30% strict, 28% moderate, and 31% flexible, so very evenly distributed. So whatever location you are looking at, just look at AirDNA, see if it's a good market. If not, AirDNA would definitely tell you. Also, I always start a Excel sheet. So if I look at a county and township, I put it in a spreadsheet and say, okay, the county, you can have an Airbnb. And then what are the rules and regulations? Again, I'll show you my spreadsheet in that video. But for now, just start researching the locations that you're thinking about investing in and see if they're even good or not. So as you can see, AirDNA is a great tool to figure out what market is good in that area, because they are taking all of the Airbnbs and Vrbo's and Booking.com and property managers. They're combining it all in one so you can see, is it popular or not, or will it even make money in that area? Because sometimes, actually a lot of times, there's markets that won't even make you money, so why invest in those? So I really hope that you guys found this very helpful. Just remember, finding the perfect location, not everything will be perfect. So the biggest thing is to just get your very first investment property. Once you get that first one, it's going to snowball into many, many more. So don't be very nitpicky about what location. Don't think everything has to be perfect. Just get that very first one and the rest will be a piece of cake.